Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Rob Bassett, and I'll be walking us through our presentation today on Your Sage, Our Cloud, the fastest way to modernization. Let's cover a couple ground rules real quick before. The first thing is we do have the lines muted. It's not because we don't want to hear from you. Typically what happens on webinars when you have a whole bunch of people on it, someone eventually will put the call on hold, and then the entire group ends up listening to on hold music. So we have the lines muted for that reason. That doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. If you have questions throughout the webinar, just add them to this in your GoToWebinar panel. There's a questions section. You can add your questions in there and we'll try to address those throughout the webinar if it's appropriate. Most likely we'll save it till the end during the Q&A section. But just so you know, if you have questions, put them there and we'll address them either on the spot or later, depending on what's most appropriate. So our agenda today is to talk about how you can lower your total cost of ownership, eliminate the need for on-premise hardware and infrastructure, significantly decrease the burden on your IT team, and create a user experience that feels more modern and is in line with today's world, frankly. So with that being said, I do want to say my name's Rob Bassett. I'll be presenting today. Our normal presenter, Danny Barnett, actually had a sick kid at home, so he's not here. So I do have Craig Forsyth on the call with me as well today. He's one of our cloud specialists. So you may hear him jump in if I miss something as part of this presentation. So if you hear him jump in, he's the guy. So he's going to have some valuable stuff to add.
Hopefully. Thanks, Rob.
Yep. Okay, so here's the challenge. You know, you may be on an aging ERP solution, but the world has changed. Excuse me, the world has changed, and now you want more agility. Your people might be working from home. Some of the things we saw when COVID first came around, and the ways that companies were adapting to give those their remote users access to the system, not necessarily something we'd recommend. So how do you take your existing system that maybe you're not ready to swap out and get that modern feel, that modern security, things like that from it? So this webinar, we're going to talk about how you can take those legacy solutions and bring them up to as close to possible as a modern solution as you can, and also make your whole environment more safer in the meantime. So so some of the issues you may be thinking about is I got people that want to work remote. You know, there's a lot of competition from a hiring perspective. So how do you stay relevant in the marketplace and attract the best talent when you've got a large part of the workforce that wants to stay home and work from home? We're going to talk about ways you can do that today. The rising cybersecurity risks and compliance needs. You hear it every day in the news about ransomware and other type of cybersecurity attacks. And how do you know, maybe your organization has some opportunities to improve on that area. You know, why think about that when you can let us take care of that for you? Also, ways to make the most out of your IT teams. Do you want them manually managing servers and patches, or do you want them focused on more strategic items that might be able to bring your organization forward and be more competitive in the workspace? And finally, that agility that leadership is looking for. Sometimes, you know, you might be considering moving to a modern ERP solution, for example. And there's a ton of benefits to doing that, but maybe now's not the right time. You know, maybe that's just a little bit more or risk or workflow that you're looking for right now. And there are options to get you to a better place without going through that whole process. So the big myth is we have to switch our systems to get modern performance. Not true at all. So with some of the features that are coming out with some of these with some of the Sage ERPs, some of the third parties that you can plug in, they can hold their own. And we hear it every day. We have huge base of customers that are on 100 and 300, and they tell us, hey, we love this product. We want to stay on this. So how do you maximize that application to get the most out of it? And start inching your way towards a time frame that might fit better for migrating to a modern application. So the short story is, you don't need to change out your system to get that modern look and feel out of the product. So what's possible with cloud hosting? So the old world is, every couple of years you got to go out and buy servers, you got to have them installed, you got to update them, maintain them, all that kind of stuff. But the new world is, you can get all of that for a predictable monthly cost. You can reallocate your employees from server maintenance to more strategic, critical tasks. And you can reduce the cost for your hardware and associated expenditures. A lot of times what people don't think about is there's a lot of hidden costs behind your infrastructure. There's the headcount cost that it takes to maintain those. It's the square footage that you might have saved in your workspace to house those servers. It's the cooling systems and things like that have to go along with that to maintain those servers in the best capacity that they can. There's a lot of costs underneath the covers that you may not be considering when you're looking at what is managing my own hardware costing me today. So how can you take that and worry about focusing on your business, not worrying about all the things that need to be updated and could break, but how can I get it so that I can let my systems do what I need them to do so that I can focus on the business instead of updating them and all that kind of stuff all the time. And finally, we're going to get into this a little bit later, but having that system available and more reliable as you move forward at the same time.
Yeah, Rob, I would just add that we have a outstanding tool that we can walk any of the attendees through to show them how we can lower their total cost of ownership, and we'll extend that offer out to them, as a follow-up to this webinar.
Oh, great point. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for jumping in. That's a great point. And if you guys are interested in that, just you can either let us know afterwards or drop a message in the questions, and we'll capture that for later. All right, so what's possible with cloud hosting? Faster, more reliable performance. I can tell you that our ERP consultants love this solution. They say it's so much faster than what they typically see when a lot of customers are maintaining that on their own. It's easy for them because the infrastructure specialists and your ERP consultants work for the same company. So there's a lot of collaboration there that you can leverage. You can access these systems from anywhere and any device. So think about that if you're out somewhere and you need to log on to a browser real quick and access your system, you can access that securely without risk, and that gives your people the chance to work from wherever they want. Centralized backups and redundancy and 99.9% uptime. So this is something I was with Sage for a long time before I came to Network. I was with them for 16 years, and I can tell you, you would think it would be more infrequent, but there would be times when some of our customers would have some crash of their systems or something like that, and we'd say, okay, well, let's get your backups and get those restored, and unfortunately sometimes the answer was we don't have backups. The nice thing about this system is that your data is backed up on a regular basis, so that even if something were to go crazy, you're backing up data from yesterday or maybe from the last hour. So it's the chance of having to rekey information or anything like that is virtually goes down to nothing. And then finally, as your business grows, you just talk to people like Craig and say, hey, we're adding these systems or whatever, and we can add the amount of resources or anything like that that you need to make sure that your systems are within the minimum system requirements of the manufacturers, but also to make sure that you're getting the performance that you need out of your systems. Craig, did I miss anything on this one?
No, not at all. To your point about seamless scaling, to some extent, our cloud is, infinitely scalable. So we're able to easily add resources to support our customers' growth.
Great, thank you. Okay, strengthening security for your legacy systems. So listen, I get there are companies that have unlimited budgets and they can deploy the best in class level of security, and there's other companies that may not be able to do that. So what you're going to get from Cloud at Work is a top-notch best in class security protection. You're going to have 24/7 monitoring, patch and proactive threat response. Your data is going to be encrypted behind firewalls. It's going to be compliant to the industry standards. So whether you're looking for SOC 2 or HIPAA, your data is going to be protected from that perspective. And that's one less thing that your IT team has to worry about. So I'll throw a story in here. Is we had one of our Sage 300 clients that moved to Cloud at Work, and shortly after they went to Cloud at Work, unfortunately they were hit with a ransomware attack. Their Sage infrastructure that was on Cloud at Work, their Sage products were the only products in their organization that weren't impacted by that ransomware attack. So it's just a real life example of some of the value that the Cloud at Work team brings to our clients every single day.
Yeah, I think, Rob, security is without a doubt the most important component of a cloud solution that we deliver on. So that cannot be overstated.
Yeah, I agree. It breaks my heart every time I hear those stories in the marketplace. So, okay, patching and upgrading, we're going to do all of that for you. There's no more downtime for maintenance on your Windows. Compatibility testing is all done prior to any work that we'll do on those servers. And again, your IT team is going to be freed up to focus on more strategic initiatives. I can only imagine if I'm an IT person trying to keep up with all of the different systems that my company is running and what their upgrade schedules are like, how many patches are available. That's all taken care of by our team. So it's just one less thing you all have to worry about. Okay, and now we're going to talk about how you modernize it. So we talked about some of this earlier in the presentation about accessing it from anywhere. It's browser-based, super fast logins and response times. You can integrate with modern tools like O365, Office 365, Power BI, Teams. So all of that stuff that you're using today is still going to work. We're not going to get in the way of any of that. And again, wherever your team is, they're going to have reliable performance wherever they are. So if you think about, sometimes when you have, if you've ever been on a call or something like that where somebody's logged in and it's just been sketchy, those kind of things you're not going to have to worry about with our system, because we're giving you we're constantly updating our systems to make sure they're matching the system requirements so that you're getting the optimal performance out of the system that you need. The other thing that we do is we actually collaborate with our consultants on those Sage products. So sometimes the vendors or the manufacturers will give you minimum system requirements, and that's exactly what they are. They are the minimum system requirements. But our consultants know that if you have this configuration and these third-party applications added onto it, you're going to need a little bit more than those minimums. So and that's the value that our Cloud at Work and ERP consultants bring to the table with the collaboration that they're able to bring to bear to make sure that you have the best application possible. Why Sage users trust Cloud at Work? We are 100% focused on Sage. So we decided a long time ago that if we're going to do one thing right, it's going to be the Sage ecosystem. So whether you're on 100, 300, 500, fixed assets, HRMS, X3, it doesn't matter. We've got those environments at a muscle memory at this point. So we know exactly what we're doing to help you get where you need to be. And if you're thinking about hosting these solutions, there's no better solution to move forward than with Cloud at Work. Our support is all US based and leading SLAs. So you're not going to find anybody that does anything better than that. Our response times are going to meet your expectations. And finally, it's a unified platform for not only Cloud at Work, but other products that we can help you with as well, such as desktop as a service. So if you want us to manage your desktops as well, cybersecurity, or even managed IT. So if you're looking for managed services and things like that, we can connect that to our cloud team, and they can collaborate as well through our managed services team here at Net at Work. So that's the super high level. Craig, did I miss anything through this?
Yeah, the only thing that I would add to that last slide, Rob, was that we did invest about 2 years of time early on when we first rolled out our cloud infrastructure with Sage to walk them through it and have them certify us to host all of the different applications that they support within their product portfolio. So it's not just that we're heavily invested in those, 100, 300, X3 and so forth. Sage has taken the time with us to certify that we are the leading cloud provider to host all of their applications.
Yeah, that's a great point. Absolutely. Okay, so we're at the point where questions and answers. So if you have any questions, once again, on your go to webinar panel, there's a question section. You can type those in there and we will address those. So Andrea, thank you for your question. We'll definitely get that that cost comparison that Craig was talking about out to you for sure. Oh, I got another question here, but it's cutting off on me. So Craig, this question is probably best for you to answer. I should expect to experience 87.6 hours of downtime annually, question mark.
Yes, so that relates back. Oh, I looked at the wrong button. I am green, right? I was looking at a red button.
I can hear you. Yeah.
So I think that relates back to the 99.9% stat that was on the one slide. So we provide our Sage hosting, our certified Sage hosting services out of two platforms: Microsoft Azure's public cloud environment, and then we have developed a virtual private cloud solution. So the virtual private cloud, we guarantee 4 nines of uptime, and each of the past 5 years we've exceeded that uptime guarantee and almost reached 6 nines of uptime, which equates to somewhere between 30 seconds and 5 minutes of unscheduled downtime per year. We've never seen 87.6 hours of downtime annually. That 99.99 or 99.9%, that is what Microsoft has us sign up for, and anybody who is in the Azure cloud infrastructure signs up for their SLA, where they state that they strive to attain 3 nines of uptime. What we have seen in reality is that our Azure customers and our virtual private cloud customers are experiencing pretty much the same uptime, which is over 5 nines of uptime. We've had minimal, knock on wood, if you can hear my wood desk, I'm knocking on, knock on wood, we have not experienced only 3 nines of uptime in the Azure infrastructure, and we've never even come close to that type of downtime in our virtual private cloud. Hopefully that answers Brian's question.
Yeah, I hope so. And Brian, you get the award for the quickest math on the call today, so that was impressive. Okay, one other question. We occasionally have to replace our or add new PC workstations. Will we still need to install Sage 100 on the new workstation?
No, that is one of the benefits, and also why you're able to access Sage from wherever you are, physically located and have an internet connection. Our end users access Sage in our cloud infrastructure via a remote desktop published app. So there'll be an icon on each end user's desktop. They double click on that, they put in their user ID and their password. That launches the Sage dialog box that we publish down from our cloud infrastructure. So whatever device they're on, they'd be able to access Sage securely, safely, and quickly and efficiently, regardless of the device or their location. But no, you do not need to install Sage 100 on a new workstation. It's all going to be hosted centrally in our cloud.
Great. Thanks, thanks, Greg. Exactly where are your servers hosted? And is this hosted on AWS?
So it is not on AWS. We do have the Azure option. Our virtual private cloud, we have multiple data centers. For our Canadian customers, we have a data center, and we have cloud solutions located in data centers. We're not a data center provider. Outside of Toronto, in Barrie, Ontario, and then our US-based production cloud sits in a data center outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Then we also have a offsite backup and disaster recovery location in Plano, Texas, and we have a secondary location also in Canada for our Canadian customers.
Yeah. So
and then RDP, yes, it's a remote desktop, so it's not a browser. We can provide them end users with a URL where they can go and download the remote desktop connection if they happen to move to a different device, but it's a remote desktop published app. We can also provide full desktops if that makes sense. In those cases, typically we are hosting more than just Sage for our customers.
Right. Great. One thing I'll add there too, we didn't really cover it on the webinar, but the disaster recovery is an option for you. So Craig just talked about the multi locations of our data centers. And the thing that's nice about that is, let's say one of our data centers gets hit by a tornado or something like that, your data is backed up if you're on that disaster recovery model to that offsite recovery center as well, so that you're unless something crazy happens where both of them get hit at the same time, there's virtually no risk to your data whatsoever.
Yeah, just by moving into our cloud infrastructure, you're getting, three legs of like geo redundancy wherever your offices are located, the Philadelphia area data center, and then you have data down in the Plano, Texas location as well. So you immediately get three legs of geographic redundancy.
Perfect. Okay, how long to switch to cloud at work?
We typically onboard customers inside of 2 to 3 weeks once the paperwork is all taken care of. We like to have a kickoff call internally with the Sage 100 consultant that supports you, just to make sure that we're all on the same page. And then we'll have a kickoff call with yourselves, the Sage 100 consultant, and Cloud at Work, and that will typically map out the timeline. But 2 to 3 weeks is a normal turnaround time. I know we talked a little bit about ransomware attacks earlier. We have onboarded customers who were completely locked out of Sage for a variety of reasons, most commonly ransomware or a server failure. In those cases where our customers aren't with us and they are experiencing a complete outage, we have onboarded those customers within 24 hours. We'll do it while the sales paperwork is being processed, just so they can get back into Sage, process payroll, do all the important things that Sage does for them.
Okay, now they're coming in pretty fast, so my screen is scrolling faster than I can read them. Okay, does swapping to the cloud solution require any additional setup, or will our current environment just move to the cloud with no changes? That's a good question.
Uh, no additional setup. Frequently, customers will upgrade as part of a move to a cloud, our cloud solution. So there would be changes within Sage 100 related to upgrading, right? If you're going from 2022 to 2025, we also occasionally have customers that will upgrade from standard or advanced to premium as part of a cloud move. None of that is mandatory. That's just what they want to do as a business. But if you're just moving your current version of Sage from wherever it is hosted now into our cloud, there would be potentially no changes to Sage whatsoever. No additional setup required from the customer at all.
And then the next two questions are somewhat related. Is there downtime in those 2 to 3 weeks you just spoke of for implementation, and any downtime for the conversion?
Well, yes, there would be downtime when you do the go live cutover, but the typical project, you're running your day-to-day operations, still inputting all of your data into Sage and transacting as you normally would in wherever you're currently hosted, on-prem, with another provider or whatever, while the migration project is going on, right? The longest pole in the migration tent is testing, how long each customer wants to take the test to make sure that everything is operational or operating as they want it. But once you're comfortable that, yes, Sage in Cloud at Work is acting the way I need it to, you pick a day to cut over. Typically, it's a weekend. So we would lock everybody out of the system, close the business on a Friday. And then when they came in Monday morning and logged into Sage, they'd be operating Sage out of our cloud. Typically, it's over a weekend. So yeah, that Saturday and Sunday, you would not want anyone making transactions in your previous Sage environment while you're cutting over to the new environment.
Yep. Next question, how do third-party add-ins work, like the F9 reporting package? Do you do the updates for those?
We fully support any and all customizations that you have within Sage, and we also fully support any integrations that you have into or out of Sage. So nothing, that's all part of the testing period. Nothing should change in how any of those behave, especially F9. We have in total about 950 Sage hosted customers across all of the different Sage applications, and F9 is a pretty common product that we support.
Okay. And will the system run more efficiently with Cloud at Work?
Yes, typically, I can never really speak to it being more efficient than what you have currently, because we don't know exactly how it's behaving in the current setup. But most commonly, yes, it is much more efficient within Cloud at Work, because we're hosting the application in one central location, we're publishing out the pages, and Sage is very thin over the internet. So the response times, regardless, again, of where you're located, whether you're located, in the same building as where we host it, or across the state or across the country, the end user experience is very similar. The pages refresh extremely quickly. I've been with Cloud at Work almost 5 years, and one of the first customers that I worked with, they had 3 locations. They had a headquarters in Iowa. They had bought a company that had Sage 100 in outside of San Francisco, and that's where it was hosted. And then they had bought a third company in North Carolina. Each location had about 10 users, and the further away from San Francisco that they got, the worse the end user experience became. So we onboarded them, located their Sage environment outside of Philadelphia, PA, and as it turned out, all 30 of those users, the 10 in Carolina, the 10 in Iowa, and the 10 in California, all have the exact same end user experience as though that infrastructure was sitting with them, in the same location. So that's the typical experience that you can expect. It's going to be quick. There's not going to be any timeouts for running reports or printing jobs or anything along those lines.
I don't have any more questions at this point, but I will add one more thing. We didn't talk about it during the webinar, but there are opportunities. We do have a client experience plan, which is an all-inclusive support program through Net at Work. It includes your upgrade every couple years. You can bundle that with your Cloud at Work contract and get a discount on both the client experience plan as well as the Cloud at Work contract. So if you're interested in something like that, ask your rep about that, and they can give you the details on that. Lots of added benefits in those plans as well. Any other questions? Okay. I am showing on my screen, there are some other resources that you can leverage through our Net at Work website and Cloud at Work websites. So you can see the links down below. We've got blog posts, podcasts, and additional resources like recorded webinars and things like that you can leverage. So if you're interested, make sure you hit those up. And finally, my contact information is here. So once again, my name is Rob Bassett. Craig Forsyth was the other person that joined me today. And Craig, thanks for your help today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Other than that, you should get a call from our team just to see if there are any additional questions or anything like that you had that didn't come up on the call today. So again, I want to thank everybody on this call for your time with us today. I know time is at a premium nowadays, and we truly appreciate all the time that you give us. So I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And again, if you have any questions, just give us a call. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Rob.